When you're setting up your grades, you need to be in PowerSchool Pro, so make sure you are there right now. When you go into it, you should have a screen that looks similar to this one. And to set up your grades, you need to go to Settings over on the sidebar, and then choose Traditional Grade Calculations. When you're setting up your grades, there are 3 different steps that we need to take. First, we need to set up our quarter grades. So your quarter grade is going to be weighted with categories. So for example, your categories might be 80% assessments and 20% homework. So whatever your categories are, we're going to have to create those, and then we will weight those within the quarter grades. Next, you need to set up your semester grade. Your semester grade has to be weighted between the 2 quarters. So the term quarter 1 and quarter 2 needs to be weighted 50-50 so that the semester grade is an accurate average of the 2 of them. Once you have your semester grades weighted correctly for the 2 quarters, you need to do the same thing for the year, weighting the 2 semesters 50-50 so that the overall grade for the year is an accurate average of the 2 semesters. So I'm going to go through those steps with you. Like I said, the first thing we need to do is just set up the categories so that you can weight the categories in the quarter grade. So what you need to do is go up to this Create button in the top right corner, click it and choose Category. You can choose all of the classes that you're going to make this grade for. So you might want to choose all of your core classes or your elective class, whichever one you're setting this up for. And then make the name of it. So I am going to call mine Assessments 1 since I'm already using assessment. And then you can choose a color just to make sure you're kind of differentiating them for yourself. And then push Save. So that assessment category is there. So when we go in to set up the quarter 1 grade, you'll be able to use that category. Now you're going to do the same thing. So click Create Category. Choose any of the classes that you need to set this up for. And then use your other category. So for example, my other category will be homework. So I'm setting up homework. I'm going to make sure I choose a different color and then push Save. If you have any other categories that you are planning on using, take this time now to create those categories so that you can use them in the quarter grades. Once your categories are created, you're going to go to the Q1 reporting term. So this is for quarter 1. Make sure you're choosing the correct option. And we need to go over to the right side under Actions and click this Edit button. It looks like a pencil or a little pen. You're going to click that, and a screen like this should pop up. You need to change the type of grade. So instead of total points, you're going to click that and choose Category Weighting. Choose Category Weighting. Under Attribute, you need to choose one of the categories. So I set up Assessments 1. And since I want assessments to be 80%, I'm going to change the weight to 0.8 for 80%. I will click out of that and then push this little plus button to set up my next category. So you need to push this little plus button right here for every category that's going to be weighted within the grade. Once again, I need to go over to Type and choose Category Weighting. And I'm going to choose Homework for my next category. Homework is 20%, so on the weight, I'm going to type 0.2. When I click out of that, the percents change, so my assessment is 80% and my homework is 20%. Do this for all of your categories that are in your grade, and then push Save. So now my Q1 grade is set. And now take this time to go through and do the same thing for Q2, Q3, and Q4. You need to set up each quarter separately, but you're going to go through the same actions. Click that edit button, set up your categories, set up your weights, and then save. Once your quarters are set up, now we're going to set up the semester grade. So now under reporting term, make sure you're looking at S1 for semester 1 and go over to actions and click that edit button. Instead of category weighting, now we are going to choose term weighting. So I'm going to click term weighting. Under attribute, I'm going to make sure that Q1 is chosen. If not, you need to go through and make sure you choose that one. And since I want Q1 and Q2 to be even, I'm going to make them both 50-50, which means that my weight needs to be 0.5. I will click out of that and then add another term weighting. So I'm going to choose term weighting again for the second quarter. Make sure Q2 is chosen. Once again, I want the weight to be 0.5. And when I click out of that, my weights should turn into 50-50. Once that's done, go down and push save and do the same thing for semester 2. So go to S2 under reporting term, click the edit button, and then choose your terms, choose term weightings, choose Q3 and Q4, and make them 50-50. Once your semesters are weighted, now we're going to go through and weight your year. So under Y1, reporting term Y1, go over to the actions and click the edit button. Once again, we're going to choose term weighting, just like we did with the semester. And then make sure your attribute now is semester 1. So you want S1. We want the 2 semesters to be weighted evenly. So once again, we're going to do a 50-50 weight. So I'm going to push 0.5 and then push the plus button so I can add semester 2. I need to change the type to term weighting. Choose S2 for the attribute and make the weight 0.5. When I click out of that, my weights are now 50-50, so my 2 semesters are going to be weighted correctly. Once this is done, push save, and now your grades are set up for that class. Now you need to go through and set up your other classes individually. So even though your categories are set for them, now you need to go through. I'm going to click this arrow to minimize the mastery math, and I could go into my 7th hour math now and set up my quarters, my semesters, and my years. So go through and do that for all of your other classes now.